Our world is just noisy, right? It's always pulling us in a million directions. Haven't you ever just wished for, like, a user's manual to quiet your own mind? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to look at some super old, timeless advice that feels like it was written specifically for our crazy modern lives. So let's jump right in.
I mean, you know that feeling, right? When your mind is just a total restless sea, a storm of worries, endless to-do lists, all the distractions just tossing you around. If you're nodding along right now, trust me, you are not alone. And what's really cool is that the ancient wisdom we're digging into actually has a name for this exact feeling.
So this ancient text, it doesn't just describe the feeling, it gives it a name. And the important thing here is, it's not a judgment. It's more like a diagnosis, a starting point. This whole thing is basically a guide for what it calls the confused mind. Okay, so the term is mudamate. And what I love about this, what's so powerful, is that it's not a criticism. It doesn't mean you're broken or doing it wrong. Nope. It just describes a mind that's restless, maybe a little agitated, struggling to find some peace. And by giving it a name without any of the blame, the text basically says, hey, this is a totally normal place to start. This is where the journey begins.
All right, so to even start this journey, the guide says we have to face a few, well, uncomfortable truths. We got to look them straight in the eye. And the very first one, it really makes you rethink how you see your own time.
It's such a powerful metaphor, isn't it? Life is like twilight. And look, this isn't meant to be depressing or dark, not at all. It's supposed to be a wake-up call. Think about it. If you knew for sure the day was about to end, how would you use those last few hours of light? It's all about pushing us to live with real intention.
Right. So when it says when the end of life approaches, it's not telling us to get all morbid and fixated on the future. It's actually a tool for right now, for the present moment. The argument is that really, truly getting that our time is limited is maybe the most powerful motivator there is to live a meaningful life, starting today.
Okay, let's move on to the next one of these uncomfortable truths. This one's all about where we usually look for security, where we place our trust. And yeah, this one might hit a little close to home for a lot of us. Think about it. We all build these fortresses for ourselves, don't we? That great career, a nice bank account, a good reputation. We build them up thinking they're going to keep us safe. But this ancient wisdom says, look, those fortresses, as awesome as they might seem, they're temporary. They're just not built to withstand the biggest storms of life.
And the text is pretty blunt about it. It says nahi nahi rakshati, which basically means no help will come. Yeah, pretty stark. It's saying that in those really critical moments, none of that external stuff is going to save you. It's a huge challenge to our whole modern culture that's so obsessed with success and stuff being the ultimate security blanket.
Okay, so if our achievements and our money aren't the answer, what about our smarts? Our knowledge, our skills, all the stuff we've learned. Well, the text has another amazing metaphor for this. It says all that expertise we work so hard for, it's like sand. Sure, it's useful, but try to cling to it, to hold on tight, and it just slips right through your fingers.
And this is great. The original text gets super specific. It uses this term, du krung kerana. And what it literally means is mastering complex rules of grammar. But of course, that's a symbol, right? It stands for all our grammar lessons, all that specialized external knowledge we have. The stuff that's super valuable out in the world, for sure, but when we're facing the really big questions in life, it doesn't have the answers.
So to be clear, this isn't saying knowledge is bad. Not at all. It's asking us to use something called viveka, which is basically spiritual discernment. It's about getting really good at telling the difference between two things: the external knowledge we collect, facts, skills, all that stuff that comes and goes, and the deep, timeless wisdom we have to grow on the inside. That's the stuff that lasts.
Okay, so we faced some pretty tough truths, right? Our time's running out, our achievements can't really protect us, and even what we know has its limits. I know, it sounds a little bleak, but it's not, because this is the pivot point. We're done with the problem, now we get to the solution.
And here's the main idea for how to move forward. Picture this. Your confused mind is like a ship getting tossed around on a stormy sea. The goal isn't to try and calm the whole ocean. That's impossible. The goal is just to learn how to steer your ship, to navigate it back to the calm, stable shore.
So how do you do that? Well, here's the core instruction. It's the compass for your ship. Bhaja Govindam, Muda Mate. It translates to something like, turn to the divine, O confused mind. Now, hang on, because that word divine can be tricky.
But in this context, it means something really specific and really personal. And this is the key. It is not about looking for something outside of you. That shore we're trying to get to, it's not some far-off place. It's the stable ground that's already inside you. The instruction is to simply turn your focus inward, to connect with that quiet, peaceful, eternal part of yourself that's always there, underneath all the chaos of the storm.
And look, this isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. It's a whole process, a journey in 3 steps. First, there's Shravan. That's just listening and learning, which is exactly what you're doing right now. Next comes Manan. That's where you really think about it, you contemplate how these ideas fit into your life. And finally, the most important part, Nidasana. That's where you actually live it. You integrate it, so it's not just an idea in your head, it's your actual experience.
So let's pull all this together. We've faced the hard truths, we've seen the path inward, but what does this actually look like day to day? Let's map out what this path to a steadier mind really involves.
Really, it all boils down to 4 big shifts. First, you start prioritizing your inner world. That becomes your real anchor. Second, you reframe the whole idea of impermanence. It's not scary, it's what pushes you to live with purpose. Third, you stop chasing so much external stuff and start actively building up your inner resources, things like peace and strength. And finally, you shift your goal away from just collecting more and more information and towards seeking real, timeless wisdom.
When you get right down to it, this is the whole journey. It's a complete change in where you look for safety and peace. The goal is to stop relying so much on the outside world, which is always changing, and to start trusting the stable ground that's always there inside you.
So I want to leave you with a question to chew on. What are your grammar lessons? What are those external things, the job title, the accomplishments, the stuff you own, that you're clinging to for security? What do you think would happen if you just loosened your grip a little bit and started building that fortress on the inside instead?